Hello and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I'm Ayodeji Makinde. This broadcast is being streamed live on our website nta.ng/live and other social media handles displayed on your screen. Nigeria has made a strong case for effective collaboration and cooperation by the international community towards finding lasting solutions to the prevailing challenges of security, describing it as global threats to civilization. President Muhammadu Buhari, who made the request while granting audience to new envoys posted to Nigeria, expressed the belief that matters of security have become the business of all nations. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has the details.
The new envoys were in the State House, Nigeria's seat of government, to present their letters of credence to President Muhammadu Buhari. This is to mark the beginning of their representational duties in Africa's largest economy. The envoys are the Canadian High Commissioner to Nigeria, James Kingston Christophe, and the Mexican Ambassador to Nigeria, Juan Alfred Miranda Ortiz. President Muhammadu Buhari, who formally welcomed the envoys to Abuja, tasked them to not only build on the successes of their predecessors, but to further make efforts at expansion and advancement in relations with Nigeria across political, socio-economic, and cultural spheres.
The ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine has undermined the progress countries have achieved in tackling food security in the last decade, while the political instability in Libya continues to fuel terrorism in the Sahel, as well as scatter the democratic sustenance in both West and Central African regions. Nigeria is not left out of the equation, as we are fighting to rid our country of banditry, kidnapping, harder farmer crisis, and insurgency. We are, however, making meaningful progress with the support of friendly countries like yours to sustain these fights until we overcome these challenges.
At the regional level, the President said Nigeria is working with other member states of ECOWAS and other regional blocs to deal with transborder and maritime crimes, illicit drugs, and human trafficking, as well as the unconstitutional changes of government. These challenges, he said, go beyond the abilities of any single country to effectively contain, and the urgent need for the world to work closely together at both bilateral and multilateral levels.
Nigeria is drawing closer to its 2023 national elections, and the candidates representing their parties at different levels are beginning to build a consensus within their respective parties in preparation for the launching of campaigns across the country soon. As the drums of campaign begin to rise, I urge you to be guided by diplomatic practice to ensure that your activities remain within the limits of your profession as you monitor the build-up and the conduct of the general elections.
The Canadian High Commissioner to Nigeria, who responded on their behalf, described as a true honor and pleasure for them to formally take up their positions in Abuja and begin official engagement with the Nigerian government.
Mr. President, we look forward to working with your ministers and officials and a wide range of stakeholders from across Nigeria to build the relationships that will underpin progress in areas of mutual interest.
And in carrying out their official responsibilities, the envoys have been asked to spare time to appreciate the uniqueness and strength in Nigeria's cultural diversities, which President Buhari said represent the pride and identity of the nation and its people. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
The federal government has disbursed the sum of 66 billion naira to more than 1.2 million beneficiaries across the country under the MSME Survival Fund. Minister of State Industry, Trade and Investment Mariam Katagum disclosed this during a town hall meeting in Abuja. Benny Adams has the report.
Cash is responsible for these smiles, and the testimonies are evident to the fact that government delivered on promises made.
We really and we really appreciate the money we got to help our staff in the long run to cushion the effect of our inability to meet up some certain payment of their salary.
But like Oliver Twist, they want more.
Our members are more innovative than
Like a caring parent, more money, capacity building, and access to market is coming the way of macro, small, and medium enterprise business owners across the country.
To date, the fund has disbursed the sum of 66 billion and 20,000 directly to 1,258,183 beneficiaries, including those registered. And I think the icing on the cake is all these 1.2 million beneficiaries, we can track them.
The town hall meeting highlighted the scheme's achievements in the payroll support scheme, artisan and transport scheme, formalization support scheme, general MSME grant scheme, and the guaranteed take-off scheme around the country. In Abuja, Benny Adams, NTA News.
In the meantime, the National Defense College Officers' Wives Association is engaging its members to be self-reliant. To this end, a program was organized in Abuja.
These are 42 members of the National Defense College Officers' Wives Association who successfully completed intensive training in different skills acquisition.
I want you to remain focused, to be diligent, try and bring something new. The competition is big out there. You have to do something different to attract the patronage. Go the extra mile. Think out of the box.
To these potential entrepreneurs, the acquired skill will support the home front.
I expect that the graduates that have received starter packs today will make use of the starter packs because if they do, it will be of immense benefit to them. They'll be able to assist their spouses because these are soldiers that are always there fighting to defend us.
We have been equipped very well. Everything we need for the program to start up for our own ourselves is been already provided.
We will not depend on our husbands again. With the economy now, you know, it's better for both husband and wife to work.
Different starter packs and capital distributed to the graduating members of the association. From the National Defense College in Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Moving on to security matters, pursuant to its statutory mandate of protecting the nation's waters against external aggression and criminals, the Nigerian Navy NNS Victory Calabar seized a vessel with a specified quantity of suspected diesel. They also arrested 5 crew members along the Eastern Waterway Calabar Channel and handed them over to the EFCC Uyo Zonal Command. Udwak Etam now reports.
The vessel with batch number Edidion AJ was arrested on the 20th of June 2022 by operatives of the force during their patrol on the eastern waterways. The vessel is loaded with unspecified quantity of diesel, and the 5 crew involved in the economic sabotage are 4 Nigerians and 1 foreign national. Representative of the Nigerian Navy, Best Operations Officer, NNS Victory Calabar, handed over documents of the seized vessel, the 5 crew and mobile phones, to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC.
As part of Operation Dakata da Barao, which is to fight against illegal oil bunkering and crude oil thefts, Nigerian Navy ship Victory arrested motor vessel Edidion AJ along the Calabar Channel.
We're grateful to the Nigerian Navy. We'll take over this vessel, we'll take over the crew members, and make sure that a proper investigation will be carried out on those persons, and if they are found wanting, justice will take its course.
In Calabar, Uduak Etam, NTA News.
2 suspected drug barons have been arrested by NDLEA for operating a methamphetamine clandestine laboratory in VGC Estate, Lekki in Lagos, and a community in Oka, Anambra State. Abdulmalik Hassan reports.
Oromiri, known as methamphetamine, has become one of the major illicit substances produced in Nigeria. Its effect is devastating on users and believed to last longer in the body system than cocaine. So at the headquarters of the NDLEA, a press briefing holds. You could tell a disturbing competence has been discovered.
On Saturday, July 30th, 2022, when officers and men of the agency successfully busted 2 methamphetamine manufacturing facilities called meth laboratories, and the 2 laboratories were effectively decommissioned.
258.74 crystal meth retrieved, various chemicals and paraphernalia recovered. An estimated 50 kilos of methamphetamine on a weekly basis is said to be produced by these labs. At $500,000 per kg in the global market, you could tell why the production. But then, the implication is devastating.
NDLEA is obliged to brief the public about this recent bust to raise people's awareness of the danger that meth production constitutes to public health. The owner of the laboratory in VGC, for instance, was producing this highly unstable and toxic drug in a house where he lived with his family. This speaks volumes about his insensitivity to the consequences of exposing his family to the danger of hazardous chemicals.
To the public, the NDLEA give an advice. Be vigilant to your environment. Abdulmalik Hassan, NTA News.
Governor Simon Lalong is asking citizens of Plateau State to provide useful information to security agencies in their efforts to reduce crime to its barest minimum. He made the plea while inaugurating the new divisional police headquarters in Wasi local government area of Plateau State. Ekemereng Kaneng Ladoja reports.
Recent crimes in the community, the Inspector General of Police, Usman Alkali Baba, approved the opening of a new divisional police headquarters. Inaugurating the project, Governor Simon Lalong, represented, expressed dismay over wanton destruction of lives and property of citizens and applauded the initiative of the federal government to tackle insecurity in the area.
The vigilante, you are doing very well there, Wati. I'm told that you are partnering very well with the security agencies and please strengthen that work. And the governor has directed that all the government chairmen should please work with them and complement their efforts as well.
The Inspector General of Police represented asked residents to partner the police and other security agencies in crime prevention.
Give us the necessary information that we require to police you. It's not when this place is open now and at the end of today, nobody is still around here. This is your project.
For the Deputy Speaker, House of Representatives, who was represented by the YC local government chairman, he reiterated his commitment to protecting the interest of his constituents. Messages came from the Emir of Wasi and Regna of Bashar, who applauded the security agencies, federal and state government, for measures taken in the fight against insecurity in the community. In Jos, Ekemeren Kaning Ladoja, NTA News.
66 Africans have added to the number of peace mediators to stem the tide of violence, banditry and terrorism ravaging the continent in recent years. Correspondent Ikechukwu Ndukwe reports that Cardinal Onayeko Foundation is an emerging global peace movement and it's leveraging on mediation and dialogue towards tackling cultural, religious intolerance and extremism.
Muslims and Baltic Christians are the new soldiers of peace mediators across Africa. We firm believe to stem the tide of cultural and religious intolerance, which often leads to crisis.
What is needed and necessary is for all of us, Christians and Muslims, to join forces of heart, mind and hands to deal with this common menace.
Please allow me to reiterate my thanks for inviting me to be a part of your efforts to improve peace and understanding among the many different faiths here tonight and in your countries. There is no doubt that it can be difficult work. However, neither is there doubt about its importance.
So gathering all of you here today is a really important reminder for me of the reason why Canada needs to continue to support efforts like this one.
With the majority of inductees coming from Nigeria, the task of resolving religious crisis in the most populous black nation is a Herculean task. Ikechukwu, NTA News.
And Lagos is our next stop on Nationwide, and Michael is standing by with the next set of reports. Good evening, Michael.
Good to see you, Ayodeji. Although the waiting time for flight delay and issues revolving around cancellation are gradually easing out, but hike in airfare on both domestic and international travels is generating reactions. Key players in the aviation industry are suggesting solutions around enhancing local production of fuel and improving monetary policy. Global economic crisis caused by the war in Ukraine is impacting all sectors of the economy. In Nigeria, the aviation industry is feeling the heat, and the astronomical hike in the price of aviation fuel has been creating unease for passengers.
You can't even book a flight and say that you want to book it a day before. You are paying over 100,000 naira just to get on a flight.
The toll seems to be the same along international routes, as passengers are now paying more. This journey was almost becoming an impossible mission for Sunday Kolawole, as his hope of relying on a ticket procured 2 months ago met a brick wall. He was charged 70% of the present rate to reconfirm his tickets.
I booked it like 240 initially per person. I was told to pay 153,000 to confirm.
Coupled with the scarcity of forex, which has driven exchange rates upward, passengers say they are now caught between the devil and the deep blue sea.
I don't think that many people in this high costs will like to go on holidays unless somebody is pressed.
Mr. Olatunji Malomo, a real estate consultant, believes such a hike should be expected since all expenses in the aviation industry are dollarized.
What we need to do as a nation is to stop depending on the dollarization of our economy. What we need to do is increase our exports and reduce our imports on many things.
For now, some airlines are operating at reduced fleet capacity, but experts are optimistic that solution could be found in improving the monetary policy.
We should have a single rate and they must close that gap very rapidly. And that's why those airlines now have removed the lower fares, but example the upper fares, and they are now stopping the $444 to naira exchanges, and that will now use the black market rates. They cannot get their money back.
The challenges experts say is a passing phase, which will definitely ease now that the problems are known by all. For some time now, conversations about the use of social media have centered on whether it is more harmful or useful. While it may not be easy to address all the ills associated with the social media, drawing the lines between abusive and responsible use of the internet can help reduce the level of apprehension about the media platform. Adenita will take a look at how young Nigerians are gearing up to sensitize the social media through public speaking.
Abdulrazak Iyola is an aspiring writer and a public speaker who wants to leverage his skills to impact other young Nigerians to promote positive values.
Giving them the things that they need so as to speak in the presence of people, how to hold the right, how to get the audience to connect with them whenever they are speaking. So I do that on WhatsApp.
Ironically, the social media, which is the playground for most young people, is their battleground, while being adept at public speaking is seen as a tool for reformation. And aware of the benefit that can accrue from this imagined conference between the arts of public speaking and the social media, stakeholders say no effort must be spared in catching them young and mining their enthusiasm to make significant change in the colors and content on the internet.
The fact that they know the importance of the social media, that is not for crime, that they can gain a lot from it.
It's very important that we're talking about promoting peace through the use of social media, because we've seen situations where improper use of social media has led to chaos. I mean, the menace of fake news. So I think that public speaking plays a very important role in driving societal values.
The truth is, social media can also be used to enhance and drive social change, which is what I believe is even important to us.
With the social media largely operating as a free marketplace of ideas and all commerce affair, this new move may be one way to earn more strike for sanity and really use the media for developmental purpose. In Lagos, Adini Itaiwo, NTA News.
Do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen for updates. Time for some messages, and when we return, Nationwide continues from our Ibadan Network Center where Larry do.
Welcome back to Abuja. We won't be joining Larry in our Ibadan Network Center at the moment, but Nationwide continues from here. A landslide has occurred in Ebonyi State, blocking an interstate road and affecting people living along its corridors. This was revealed during an on-spot assessment tour to the site of the natural disaster in Oguma-Eda in Afikpo South Local Government by the state's governor, Chief David Umahi. Chika Okorie reports that the governor also inspected the famous Ugu-Iyere Bridge with plans to commission it soon.
Ebonyi is an agrarian state. Afikpo South Local Government area is one of the places that suffers a lot of land degradation. For instance, where we are standing is a place that has been affected by landslide, affecting thousands of people and their property.
We were sleeping when downfall happens, then the thing we started moving. No cars out.
Due to the fact that the area is endemic to natural disasters, any alteration in the ecosystem, such as illegal construction of buildings, as cited by Governor David Umahi, causes devastating effects. Meanwhile, Governor Umahi, who expressed displeasure over the pathetic situation which made a section of the road impassable, regretted the fact that it is coming barely 1 month to the commissioning of the famous Iyere Bridge. He also noted that the occupants of the hill must be evacuated for remediation work to commence.
Known to government that a lot of people had gone on top of the hill. As you can see, a lot of houses here that sprang up. And it's going to take quite a lot of effort to even unblock the road before you start thinking about how to reconstruct a very long section of retaining wall. So we're going to look at how to clear the road. I'm sure in the next 7 days we're going to deploy about 5 caterpillars and dozers and trucks. We don't really have money to tackle this, so I'm going to report to the federal government.
Governor Omai also, while inspecting the 500 meters bridge, stressed that it will reduce road crashes and boost economic activities of the people and their neighboring states. In Abakaliki, Chika Ukuri, NTA News.
The Federal Road Safety Corps is advising motorists to avoid overspeeding and be more cautious while plying the roads, as most road carnages are speed-induced around the country. Sector Commander FRSC Cross River State Command Abdullahi Hassan gave the advice while reacting to an accident which occurred along Biase Road in Cross River State. Justina Etam reports.
Accident, which claimed 5 lives, occurred in the early hours of Tuesday, the 2nd of August 2022, along Ibaye in Biase local government area of Cross River State. A trailer load of goods was said to have fallen on a Sienna car conveying passengers from Ekuri in Yakol local government area, killing 5 persons, including the driver of the Sienna vehicle.
We don't feel happy to see a crash occurring on Nigerian roads. So we are doing our best, we are trying our best to ensure that it has been reduced to the barest minimum by educating and sensitizing drivers. We follow them to their garages, we follow them to everywhere they are. Every possible places we go to alerting Nigerians who ply Nigerian roads with their vehicle to ensure that they drive safely and arrive safely.
The Federal Road Safety Corps says such accidents could be prevented if road users are more cautious when driving. In Calabar, Justina Etam, NTA News.
Now we've established contact with our Ibadan Network Center, and Lanre is next. Good evening, Lanre. It's over to you.
Good to see you, Ayodeji, and welcome to Ibadan. The race to meet the 2030 deadline on global projection for the full eradication of female genital mutilation is in top gear, and health workers in Nigeria are proposing a more inclusive approach to end the menace and other traditional practices injurious to women and the girl child. Kayode Oladushu in this report takes a look at challenges of womanhood, early marriage, and the way forward.
Early and forced teenage marriage, female genital mutilation, and other practices that prevent women from controlling their fertility, including specific cultural taboos, preference for the male child, and widowhood are some of the challenges confronting the African women. These harmful traditional practices, according to medical experts, have in no small measure contributed to maternal mortality rates, as well as left many women socioeconomically vulnerable.
Vaginal fistula. We want to listen to the lived experiences. We were thinking that by now it should have been eradicated. But since it is still on, we want to join in the campaign against it at the grassroots level.
Woman does not have an option of saying, I'm not going to do. And on the basis of that, we all need to give all it takes to at least assure the average woman that will be going through pregnancy, childbirth, and childcare of everything that we need to provide.
As much as the community plays its part in alleviating the pains of motherhood and accord respect to the upbringing of the girl child, some of these challenges will be eradicated. In Ibadan, Kayode Oladushu, NTA News.
Tipper and truck business is one of the lucrative ventures in Nigeria, especially in the construction industry, where they feature prominently in conveying sand, granite, and other materials from fields to sites. The hike in the price of diesel is, however, taking its toll on this sector as business owners lament low sales. Koinde Omolosho reports.
Contrary to the usual hustling and bustling at some tipper garages in Ilorin, reverse was the case, as activities at some garages was at its minimum, except for few trucks that were seen working. Idris Omotosho, a tipper driver and sand vendor, has been out of work for a while due to low patronage occasioned by the hike in price of diesel. He couldn't afford to sell a single load of sand between 10 to 12,000 naira, while buying diesel at 850 naira per litre.
Before, we were loading one tipper like this, 5 tons. We are loading 10,000, but now we are giving customer 15,000, but they no gree pay. They say the price is too much. All tippers say they don't see work do because it's diesel now.
Diesel is now expensive and we spend more to fuel our tippers. The hike in price has eaten up our profits.
The ripple effect of the hike, according to tipper drivers, has not only reduced the volume of work in construction sites, but also affecting their earnings and those of their customers. They want government to address the perpetual increase in the price of diesel.
Reduction in price will improve people's purchasing power. Not only the rich build houses, the lower class are also struggling to build, and the price hike will surely hinder them more.
Trucks that carry petrol and food items also use diesel, and this will definitely affect PMS pump price as well as price of other commodities.
Respondents believe reduction in the price of diesel will reduce the cost of transportation and, by implication, the price of other goods and services. Kehinde Omolosho, NTA News.
It's time to rejoin Ayodeji in Abuja studios for the continuation of Nationwide.
Thanks, Lanre, in our Ibadan Network Center. A group of Nigerian youth under the aegis of Nigerian Emerging Leaders Forum has advocated inclusive and participatory process for the youth, as the future of the country relies on their strength and capacity. The forum said this during a media briefing which aimed at creating massive awareness on the need for youth to leverage on experiences of past and present leaders for the next generation leadership.
Start a conversation to galvanize like minds in order to turn around things politically, economically, and socially for optimal development.
We must remember that one of the greatest lessons we can teach one another is to ensure that there is civility, comprehension, and tolerance in public discourse. We have a unique chance to ensure that we build the future we deserve in Nigeria. We can make it happen.
Nigeria Emerging Leaders Forum commended strides being made by Nigerians on the global stage and urged youth to deepen their passion for the country and ensure the success of the 2023 general election. The National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, is taking adequate measures towards ensuring safety and welfare of corps members during orientation at camps across the country. The Director General of the scheme, Brigadier General Mohammed Fadda, stated this while on inspection visit to Katsina State Orientation Camp. Awal Haliru has the report.
The State NYSC Permanent Orientation Camp has about 800 co-members registered for the orientation course. The visit of the Director General is to boost morale of the co-members and their confidence in achieving the objectives of the NYSC, which are national integration and development.
The co-members are in high spirits and have been composing themselves very well with a very disciplined culture and.
While addressing the co-members, the Director General warned them that the scheme has zero tolerance for cultism, drug abuse and other social vices. He charged them to work towards realizing their potential through skilled acquisition and assure them of their safety and welfare.
We have put everything in place for security and their safety to make sure that everybody is safe wherever he is. We are working to make sure that they are safe, and that if there's not any threat, so they should go and do their normal exercises in their camps. They are safe.
The orientation commenced on 19th of July this year with the arrival of registered co-members and officials who are all screened for COVID-19 before admitted into the camp. In Katsina, Awal Haliru, NTA News.
The Industrial Training Fund says the fund is working towards refocusing technical and vocational skills by training and facilitating the institutionalization of national apprenticeship and traineeship system of operation through economic and virtual platforms. Director General Industrial Training Fund Joseph Ari stated this while unveiling the third Industrial Training Fund strategic policy direction for 2022 to 2025. Indeyang Andiabagyang reports from Jos.
Strategic policy direction for 2022 to 2025 intends to scale up activities of the fund to addressing unemployment and other socio-economic challenges. The new policy framework, which has external and internal components, the DG says, will be achieved by leveraging on the fund's experience, expertise, and expansive networks. The fund is also working to refocus technical and vocational skills training by facilitating the institutionalization of the National Apprenticeship and Traineeship System.
The fund will focus on ensuring full adherence to the standards and regulating vocational skills training outfits through the accreditation of skills training centers and certification of all skills training.
The new policy framework will upgrade 3 of its skills training centers for advanced skills training for employment in Lagos, Kano, and Jos to train 450 instructors annually.
To achieve this, the fund will register as a super certification center, extend the duration of its skills intervention programs in line with NATS.
While reacting to the production of Made in Nigeria mobile phone, Joseph Ari says line machines have been installed and the legal framework is being fine-tuned. On the sidelines of the unveiling, the Director General presented a laptop and a 3D printer to Daniel Dungwom, the winner of this year's National MSMEs Awards in Leather Works, towards enhancing his work in jobs, Indenyan, and the Abuja. NTA News.
Registrar of Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, Professor Ishaq Oloyede, has reiterated that the board does not determine the cutoff mark for admissions into higher institutions in the country. Reviewing the 2022 JAMB UTME on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria, Professor Oloyede, along with some officials of the board, explained that each university determines its cutoff mark. Ekemini Williams has the details.
Announcement of 140 as a cutoff mark for admission into universities this year was greeted with more concerns over fears that it will compromise the standard of education. Registrar of JAMB, along with some officials of the board, provided some insight into the process for determining the cutoff mark, explaining that it is not fixed by JAMB.
What people refer to as cutoff mark is what we call minimum admission requirement. That's what we call a policy meeting that the minister chairs. Before that meeting, the tertiary institution submits what they feel they can admit with. What we do as an agency is to ensure that the goalpost is not changed. It is only saying that, look, for you to be allowed to compete with others, you should not go below this particular mark.
Professor Oloyede also explained that various universities across the country use their own cutoff marks for admission.
JAMB does not prescribe any minimum for any university beyond what has been statutorily stated. And JAMB does not even recommend anybody for admission except the person recommended by the institution.
The JAMB registrar elaborated on the mop-up examination scheduled for Saturday.
Examination for Saturday is meant for whose result, the result in the center where they took their examinations had been cancelled. We are slating those who have technical problems.
While the time was going on, the center had a challenge. Parents had to break the gate, go and attack the examination officials. That is not acceptable.
But eventually they will pay, because that's what will lead some of them into wrong hands when they are eventually admitted. We had a case of a candidate who scored very high, but at that point he was 15 years old, I think. And the University of Ibadan said, no, we will not admit you, because they have it in their guideline that you must minimum of 16 years. And there was nothing we could do.
Candidates were also advised against relying on JAMB past questions packaged and sold while preparing for examinations. In Abuja, Ekemini Williams, NTA News.
Kaduna is next on Nationwide, and Salamatu is our guide.
Thank you and a warm welcome to Kaduna. People of the Daura Emirates in Katsina State have offered special prayers for the country and its leaders, seeking Allah's intervention to secure the country from all forms of insecurity and continue to guide the leadership. The prayer was organized to usher in new Islamic calendar. Sani Basiru reports.
The prayer session, which attracted Islamic scholars from various sects, was aimed at promoting peace and unity among people in Daura, Katsina and Nigeria at large. It also serves as an avenue to celebrate the Islamic New Year. The Magajin garin Daura Alhaji Musa Umar says, following security challenges in some parts of the country, deemed it necessary for the emirate to organize a special prayer session to seek protection from the Creator. Chairman at the session, Daura Local Government Council, Bala Musa says, Daura Emirate has taken steps toward addressing security challenges in the area.
We are here to pray to Allah to protect us.
Mala Hassan Yusuf stressed the importance of prayers and called on the public to embrace it as part of measures to address all forms of criminal activities. From Daura, Sani Basiru, NTA News.
Meanwhile, people of Funtua and environs in Katsina State have been asked to remain prayerful in overcoming challenges bedeviling the country and support federal and state governments in restoration of peace and security in the area. District head of Funtua, the Sarkim Maska Sambo Idris Sambo, made the plea while addressing the people to mark his 25th anniversary celebration. Let's hear more from Suleiman Rugachku.
As district head of Funtua 25 years ago, Sambo Idris Sambo was manager of programs with the Nigerian Television Authority. He was popular in Hausa drama series, which depicts military life in barracks known as Samanja Mazampama. The consummate broadcaster is now a prominent traditional ruler in Katsina Emirate Council with the title of Sarkin Maska and district head of Funtua. Addressing his people to mark the 25th anniversary, Alhaji Sambo Idris Sambo stressed the need for collaboration and cooperation among the people in the area to surmount challenges impeding their development. As part of the celebration, the district head identified those who made invaluable contribution to socio-economic growth of the area and to bond them with various traditional titles. The anniversary served as platform for sons and daughters of Funtua from far and wide to reunite. Suleiman Gachkun, NTA News.
And that's all our package from here.
Thanks for staying tuned. Traders at the Makudi Modern Market, housing about 1,400 shops, have applauded Benue State government for the ongoing rehabilitation of the market. Moses Ajawu Ode reports that the project will rebuild more than 400 shops which got burnt many years ago.
The market has suffered several fire disasters in the past, with the latest in 2019 destroying over 200 shops, causing untold hardship to traders and negatively affecting the economy of the state. The bond section of the market has remained a shadow of itself as business transactions were put on hold. However, through the instrumentality of the public-private partnership entered into by the Benue State government, rehabilitation work on over 400 shops and administrative block of the market is ongoing.
You can see structures coming up through the proactive measure of the governor.
They are doing a wonderful work. Manager, Makudi Modern Market, Shaka Manasi, noted that the rehabilitation work on the market will be an overhaul of the observable deficiencies.
And when we came in 2 years ago, the market was a direct opposite of what you have experienced. You all know that to come into the market as at that time was a Herculean task. The reconstruction are in phases.
He further revealed that the materials used in the reconstruction of shops at the market are non-combustible and ruled out the possibilities of future fire outbreaks in the market. The Benue State Public-Private Partnership, according to observers, will go a long way in repositioning the market as one of the major revenue hubs of the state. In Makudi, Moses Ajawu Ode, NTA News.
President of Senegal and the chairperson of the African Union, Macky Sall, has expressed appreciation to the ECOWAS for supporting what he described as peaceful and successful legislative election last Sunday. The president was speaking during an engagement with ECOWAS team at the presidential palace in Dakar. Haman Jabani reports.
The close engagement with the ECOWAS team lasted over an hour. Speaking to NTA News, the head of ECOWAS mission on the legislative election says the discussion centered on the legislative elections and other related issues.
And also we explained to him the recommendation that we would want to place to improve in the future the process of election. But we recognize with him that the Senegalese election was peaceful and professional, and we congratulated him for all the institutions who took part of the organization of this election. And of course, I had the opportunity to convey to him the greetings of all the authorities of ECOWAS, including the new President of the Commission, the new Commissioner in charge of peace, security and political affairs.
How do you feel with the level of support ECOWAS is giving to his country in this election?
I think he appreciated it a lot. And, he has been chairman of the authority of ECOWAS, head of states and government, and he knows perfectly how ECOWAS works, and this is the reason why he believes that ECOWAS is in its role to come to observe the elections and also to make recommendations to them.
President Sall was elected as the chairperson of AU during 35th ordinary session of the Assembly of the Union in February 2022. From Dakar, Hamman Jabani, NTA News.
And next is